Dang. Now, today's going to be a little bit of a different episode.
Something new.
Yeah.
It is a bonus one.
It is a bonus episode, which means we can do a little bit of whatever we want on these bonus episodes, which is cool. Exactly. Anything and everything that we can do. So here at the Mere Mortals, we decided, we talked about this maybe 2 weeks ago or a week ago.
Yep.
We thought a lot of people have helped us out in the journey of Mere Mortals. So both helped us out, supported us really well, and all the fellow podcasters as well who we've interacted with, connected with, and had some good fun times over the now 1 year plus time.
For sure.
So we thought, look, how can we give back to those individuals, to those groups, to those podcasts? And we thought, what would be a better way than to shout them out? So I do a bit of an episode on shout-outs on the people who have been supporting us over all this time.
Yep.
And so obviously if you're here and tuning in as per normal, we would ask you, sit back, just enjoy this. These are some individuals and groups who, mean a lot to us, obviously, for the fact that they've helped us out a ton load.
Yep.
So look, we're going to get started. People who have helped us actually create the podcast.
Yeah, here we go.
First person I guess we're going to call out is Andrea.
She's from before the podcast actually started because we needed a logo.
Yes.
And neither Juan nor I have any experience designing
in logos. No.
Photoshop. We had nothing back then. This was...
this is pre-Photoshop.
Bare bones, so this was September 2019.
Yep.
And we just asked her, can you help us create a logo? We just want something pretty plain, pretty simple. We have the name, it's called Mere Mortals. Can you help us with a logo? And so she very kindly gave us a logo to use. And it's been our mainstay. We have not changed that on our Instagram photo at all, our profile. We haven't changed that on our iTunes at all either. So the same color, the same double M's stitched together. So...
well, no, that's a lie. So Kyrin here is lying. He forgets. He forgets. Yes, he has forgotten that before Andrea's double M's, there was Juan's double M's.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there was. So this was before us doing anything, and I created some double M's on PowerPoint with... no, even before that, actually. Even before that, the original thumbnail of the Mere Mortals was Kyrin upside down on a handstand, me holding his leg, and there was some little images and icons all over.
There was
three dots coming on the side. There was lines. There was like cutting on the angles.
There was two things above one of the A in the Mere Mortals or something, and it was two...
no, those were the little handstand people.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the second evolution.
Oh, okay.
And the third evolution was Andrea's one.
There you go.
So going back in the lore of Mere Mortals, that would be a cool thing to pull out and be like, oh, this is the original, this is the second version,
so
this is the iteration.
You can see that on some particular websites in that they just haven't updated
the old stuff.
The old stuff.
Yep.
So they still have that thumbnail from...
ages ago.
Yeah, so I do remember going, because when I was just checking out all the different types of podcasting platforms that you can look on, I did remember coming across that and going, oh, whoa.
Yeah,
like
what's going on here?
They obviously haven't updated. I think it might have even been on SoundCloud or something. I can't remember where it was. Yeah. It was just somewhere ridiculous.
Okay. But anyways, the shout out here was Andrea. So Andrea obviously took us from legacy stuff to what it is today.
Yep.
And you can obviously see that logo and a lot of the ways that so some of the updates obviously that we've done lately as well. That was Andrea helping us out.
Instrumental in the thumbnails and I guess just the set out of all of our square photos that you'll see in Instagram, whether that be the Mere Mortal moments, whether that be conversations, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then also some of the YouTube thumbnails, the conversations in particular.
Yeah. So a lot of style help there from Andrea.
So she's been very helpful. If you like our style, that sort of style, and you'd want to know more, hit us up, send us a DM, and I can pass you on to Andrea.
Definitely.
If you do have any graphical design
ideas, whatever else it may be,
or work.
Yep. No, definitely. The other one is Claude. So I think I'll let you explain this one.
I will. So Claude was my good friend from, I'm pretty sure it's number 7 of the interviews.
Yes. Okay.
Interviews / conversations. And I met him while traveling, really cool guy. And he told me he was doing some music with a friend of his and sent me a 2-hour long like music track that they'd created together.
Yep.
And yeah, we were discussing at the time of we had no intros at all. So we were just, going along, doing bits and pieces, sort of coming up with stuff on the fly, but no proper intro music or anything.
Yep.
We both agreed that we didn't particularly want to have any. We didn't want do 4XM, Juan and Kyrin. Some
Radio
intros,
style,
some intros go for a long,
for ages,
long time.
Yeah.
And so we never did that, but we did. I sort of discussed it, and we're like, yeah, okay, we'll give it a try. And so I got a little snippet, which I thought would be fun. There was actually another part I was debating, but that one
was
just,
the legend one.
for the ooh. Yeah. So I took that little snippet from his with his permission, of course. So Claude, very, very
yes,
grateful.
Thank you for bringing the ooh.
I do hope to have him on soonish, so we can talk a little bit more about his music and express that in person. Well, not in person, but via remote access and video. So yeah, that was very helpful. And if you enjoy that little snippet as well, I'm sure he'd be happy to just share the music around the world.
Definitely.
So if you wanted some more of that, which is it's just a snippet, so you don't really get the full what the song is about.
Yeah, but we would say go check it out. Go check out the stuff. Obviously, he supported us. So
if you're interested, once again, just hit us up and I'll
or you can check the interview as well. Obviously, number 7, I think it was.
Yeah, so I just don't think it has any links to
any of
where
his stuff.
You could find his music or anything.
All right.
But yeah.
One thing that I can't. I'll mention it later. I'll mention it actually later.
Okay.
But the final one is probably going to be Kyrin's dad for putting up this board.
The whiteboard.
This whiteboard is very heavy. It's actually very heavy.
How heavy do you think it is? 15 kg?
Yeah, I'd say 15 kg.
Yeah. And so getting it up was just a real pain in the butt because, first of all, there's no real attachments on whiteboards. Whoever makes whiteboards, shouting you out at the moment because it's very hard to get some sort of attachment onto it to put it on a board
something, on a
which
wall.
you'd think would be easy. But no, there's no readily hanging hooks where you can just add a string or wire or whatever it is. So we tried with hanging wire that you normally hang photos from. The board sheared it, and then Dad came up with this amazing. He salvaged it. I was more than prepared to just go out, get some new sort of material to hang it up with, but he spent a good half an hour getting it all together and
he managed it
and helping us put it up. It hasn't fallen down yet. There was concerns, especially in the first few episodes, that this would
is going to completely fall on us as we were talking.
Smash down, but no.
It hasn't. It has stayed up the entire time.
Very, very good.
And that is where it's going to remain. It's going to remain there. It's not going to move ever again. So,
it's not going to
so those are the people who have obviously helped us directly.
Yeah.
Now, let's go a little bit into the support or support. Jocko would say an echo in the Jocko podcast.
Okay.
But these are supporters, people who, on whatever platform you want to talk about, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, if you're one of those fair few on Facebook or wherever else, that have obviously been supporting us in the journey, either from the very beginning or you joined along the way and have stuck around. I think the two that come to mind definitely is Anna,
yep.
And Andrea called the name of her podcast as well.
Apple for the Teacher.
Apple for the Teacher.
I'll actually be making a little guest appearance on episode 100 of hers. I'm going to do a voiceover audio thing to spice it up, something new. I interact with her on Facebook, so she was asking for volunteers and whatnot. So I've already actually done that once before. So if you want a sneak peek of Kyrin appearing on another person's podcast, that's the place to go.
Cool. I like that. Yeah. And Michelle. We've mentioned Michelle before as well.
And Michelle's more of a recent...
she's a recent mere mortalite.
Mere mortalite community. But goddamn, she is very active on Instagram, and it's much appreciated. Every time she sends a reacting to the story or whatnot.
Or a little message or anything like that.
I feel a bit of joy. I feel like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, it is good. Awesome. It is good to see. A couple of other people, a little bit closer to home. Mum. So obviously, I think most of our family listen into some of our podcasts, but Mum will listen in and leave a little message on Facebook usually, which not many people are on our Facebook. Yeah. We're not promoting it on Facebook at all. There's zero promotion on Facebook, so I don't even worry about going there if you really want to check it out. But that's where my mum does most of her sharing and commenting, so obviously appreciate that.
And on YouTube as well.
And YouTube as well. That's for the whole family as well.
Yeah.
Joey. So it's a good friend,
Gillen's.
Joey. Obviously, we would expect nothing less from the Joseph himself.
Yeah.
But obviously appreciate the support that he provides.
Joey from episode number 5.
Yeah.
On 25, The Turning Point.
Yeah.
One of our very
That was a
first
long
episodes.
time ago. Go and check back that episode if you want to see what it used to be and what it is today.
Yeah.
That is an eye-opener.
Yep.
From a GoPro to a proper 4K camera.
GoPro and two mics for 3 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I remember that. Dang.
Yeah,
very good.
And he's so he's just been supporting, helping us out, pointing out, not only supporting but also giving us some feedback as well.
Yeah, which has been good as well.
You could have done this a little bit better. I really like when you talked on this particular topic, things like that. It does help us to have some direction, because we could talk about anything in the world, but how much do people actually care about that we're talking about? There's probably only a very small percentage.
Yeah,
of that.
no, that's right.
So that feedback's very useful.
The other one I was going to say was the 2 girls in a podcast. They've been around for a long time as well. Them and there's another one, but this one in particular obviously calls to mind because they're always interacting, and then not in a one of those Instagram liking ways. So they like a few things, but every now and again they'll pop up and be like, "Oh, I really enjoyed this." Leave a little message.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely always appreciate that.
Yeah.
Any others that come to mind for you, John?
John
Yep.
Plumley. Yeah, so he'll leave us some YouTube comments as well. He's from formerly the formerly the Plumley podcast.
Yep.
And now it's the JP. No, I can't remember.
Dang.
Damn. I think it's
It's
the JP Bar podcast.
How much do you want to bet?
Not a significant amount either way.
Mate.
But John appeared in, I'm gonna say, around episode 18, I think. And yeah, I had a really nice chat with him, and he's been following us along for that significant period of time.
Yeah, the Plumley podcast.
The Plumley podcast. There we go. So yes, he's enjoyable. He leaves us good comments. Once again, constructive comments on what he particularly liked. So it's don't always have to leave negative stuff, but what you particularly liked is also helpful. And yeah, just once again, another appreciative moment. Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Definitely. What about some of the fellow podcasters?
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the family podcast.
Yes.
So, Sammy and Don, the 2 brothers from England. I honestly, man, their podcast is just so much fun. So much fun. I checking into episode 1 of theirs, and I was just going, yes, these guys have got it. Whatever they're doing, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty rare for episode 1, because I've probably listened to, I'd be getting into 150 different podcasts now.
A lot
of different people here and there. And so I'm starting to get a feel for, what's good and what's not. And if you can bang it out of the park right from number 1, and it's not because of the audio quality, it's not because they exactly know what they're doing. It's just because of their personalities and how they interact with each other.
Yeah, that's cool.
And yeah, I think they're getting better. And so I would definitely say, if I had to put money on people who would become very successful podcasters, as in a lot of people would know about them, I would put those guys right close to the top of that list.
Nice. Wow. There you go.
So Sammy and Don.
Someone to watch out for.
Yeah, and they came on our podcast for, once again, a conversation. We've only, I can get away with it because we only have 27 at the moment. So it's sort of like, just go look through them. It won't take you that long.
Yeah, it'll be quick. Once they get up, if
we had 100, that's when I'd probably go, okay, I probably need to look
actually get the number.
Exactly which one.
The other one obviously would be PodUnion.
PodUnion.
Alex. Obviously, we've had conversations with him more than once, obviously.
So he's our twice repeat guest.
Twice repeat guest. We converse with him quite frequently, which is quite good. And obviously, it's one of those where once some of the borders open up, he's sort of a cool dude. I'd love to go and meet up in Sydney.
He was one of the first people who ever really interacted with us on Instagram, in the sense that you'd just done your challenge. Your first.
Oh yes,
challenge,
I do remember this. Yes.
Not even fitness challenge, Mere Mortals challenge. I think you called it number 1, and that was where you were doing a certain amount of sit-ups, push-ups, and squats.
Yes,
squats.
and runs.
And runs in a certain time. And they jumped in on the challenge.
Yeah, they actually did the challenge. I do remember now. I'd forgotten about that. They actually jumped in and said, we'll take on the challenge, which is really cool. And obviously we started conversations from there and found out about him. Exactly. That was awesome. Couple of lattes. So we've been interviewed by Jacques in 2 episodes. He split it up into 2 episodes, which is cool.
Yep.
Obviously he then also allowed us to talk to John as well, John Linsky. So there's been some nice connections there.
That one's coming up.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'll see that coming obviously in the future.
Yeah. But and I want to talk with Jacques more about his silent retreat that he did for himself. That's something I'm planning for myself.
Yeah. So as a fellow podcaster, and that's this is in Melbourne. Definitely want to drop down Melbourne to see those guys as well.
Yeah.
What's some of the other fellow podcasts? You shout out a lot of people.
Yeah.
So what are some of the memorable ones as well?
Well, I guess, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Apple for the Teacher. So Anna not only supports us, but she also has a very good podcast if you're into her specific niche, which is, it's not true crime because it doesn't always involve crime, but it does involve stories around schools which are interesting. And so it can be good stories, it can be bad stories. A lot of them are crime-related stories. And she, just has very unique style of how she does it. And I could definitely see how it wouldn't be some people's cup of tea, but it is very good. And she obviously puts a tremendous amount of research and effort into it. And there's a reason she has, I don't know, it's like 200,000 downloads now or something ridiculous. So Apple for the Teacher, Anna, is very cool. Well, I guess all the people who have not only responded, putting out a good enough podcast to be shouted out on Mere Mortals. So I guess everyone who I've shouted out has
the quality. It's the quality of Kyrin. The Mere Mortal.
There's some who have responded in kind. So if you check out our board here, if you checked out our YouTube thumbnail, you would have seen, and actually our Instagram thumbnail. So I'm going to list them off.
Good.
So there was the Sofaking podcast. Those were the guys I talked to, had a nice conversation with, and they were like, let's send you some stuff. And it was all the way in America. And I'm going, oh man, you don't need to.
I remember this because you were like, are you sure you don't have to? They're like, no, we do this all the time. Let us send it.
So they sent us a bunch of stickers. So I guess like these people I haven't particularly called out, but Robots for Eyes podcast, your stickers on our wall. The Sofaking. There's Do America History podcast. They deserve a special mention. #history because once again they sent us a not only some stickers but a very lovely message.
That was really nice.
I still have that. That's going in my memorabilia collection. So Rachel and Leah. Collection. So #history. It's actually that's really a good podcast as well if you're into. I guess what would be the best way? First of all, goddamn, they love cocktails. These girls consume cocktails every episode. So what they do, because I don't think you particularly listen. They'll start up with a topic. Usually one of them picks a topic and sort of explains it to the other one. But each episode they will create a new cocktail or drink a cocktail with some sort of theme related to their theme. So if it's a Halloween special, they'll have maybe some sort of pumpkin liqueur.
Okay,
to put in a cocktail.
That's pretty fun.
They're up to, I think last time I checked, I think they were around 50 episodes.
Okay, so 50 cocktails down.
50 cocktails down, and they're not doing cocktails like we did cocktails in Cancun, which is, this much vodka, but then this much ice cream and this much other related milk and all sorts of stuff. Their cocktails, man, they fit in a martini glass, but it's this much of this liqueur, this much of gin, this much of
it's a good powerful
chartreuse
gin
or something, and then it's like a couple of droplets of lime or a couple of droplets of something. So they get
that would make for a really fun podcast by the end of it.
And I don't know if they've posted their faces. I think they have somewhere, but they're women. They're not going to be consuming bang, 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 smashing out. And especially, it's hard liquor, man. So, congrats to the girls. Congrats to their livers for going on this whole time. And thank you for the message and, of course, the support as well.
No, definitely. Look, the only other ones I was going to call out, this is just some different ones. I went and scrolled back to find some of our very first pictures on Instagram. And this is obviously a long time back. And I went, okay, who are the people who were there at the very beginning? So apart from us and close friends,
Or,
there was 2.
Not even necessarily right at the beginning, but went to the effort to go all the way back to the beginning.
Oh, maybe that. Correct. So there was 2. One, the American pickers, American podcast pickers.
Yeah.
And a guy by the name of Timothy Stem. I think it's Timothy Stem K. Now, this dude has 250,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he liked quite a lot of our first pictures. Now, I don't know if he liked them, obviously, when we very first posted, or he, for some reason, went all the way down on 866 posts to go and like those. Either or, good work. Yeah. You were there from right at the beginning, so that's pretty amazing.
So that's very cool.
And the only other thing I was going to say was of our 3,523 followers well on Instagram. Obviously, thank you to each and every person who's currently following us. And if you subscribe to YouTube or Facebook or the Spotify or wherever it may be.
Or you're not in any of them and you just listen to the podcast.
I mean, if you're listening to this right now, thank you.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a shout out to you. To you, thank you very much. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. The only one I would say is, a couple of people have had us on their podcasts. Mm-hmm. So, felt that we had something worth talking about. We were interesting enough. So that goes to Jacques. That goes
a couple
to
of Lattes. Finding Co. Finding Space.
Well, no. Their podcast is the Hustle and Flow.
Oh, Hustle and Flow, something.
He uses his
good
Instagram
Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow. So I think I'm appearing. I'm not sure when I'm appearing, or if I already have been posted on this. I can't remember.
Jeez, so many.
Yeah, well, the thing is, that's the thing when you do an interview or you're on someone else's.
Yeah, you can't really record. Yeah.
Well, you have no idea when they post it as well.
That's true.
So, because there are delay times, there are lead times where we're sort of bare bones running it to the full tilt here. So there has been a time where I think we did an episode and I released it the next day.
Yeah.
With a person just because it was like, we need to get this out.
Yeah.
Some of the lead times of other podcasts are,
much longer.
3 months, like, we'll interview and then I'll post this 3 months later or something. It's like, oh, okay. So Vaughan
It happens, yep.
Vaughan was on there. I should actually just check out Instagram because I've posted the ones where
we are up here as well. Yeah, so there was Vaughan. I remember there was one memorable one with the guy from LA.
Yes. So Drew vs. the World.
as well.
Not sure. Social Primates, of course.
Social Primates.
And let me see here. So, the 3 that I know for sure are out. Jacques from Couple of Lattes, Social Primates, and Vaughan Hayes.
Yep, okay. And then there's some coming out, which is going to be the Hustle and Flow.
Yep.
Drew vs. the World.
Yeah, and those ones I guess we'll just have to see.
They'll come, I'm sure. But yes, thank you for the support. That's pretty much it for this little bonus episode, unless he's got anything else to share.
The only other one is people who have appeared on ours. So it's probably there's too many now. So, but every person who's come out to support us as well. Well, not support us, but they're supporting themselves.
Take the time. I think take the time to come and have a conversation. That's
for sure.
Liliana, Tanya, John.
Are you really going to try and go through all of them? Because there's 20,
it'll be too many. Kate. Jeez, Maddie. Nah, that's it. We'll stop there. There's too many. Well, there's 20 plus. So
everyone, just
of all of those, obviously, just if you didn't shout out your name, no, we do appreciate the time you take because sure, for us, we do the podcast and it's good enough. But when you take the time to, especially when you come and travel here, if it isn't just online, but you travel here as well, huge shout outs and thank you.
For sure. Yeah, so that's our appreciation episode. We'll I hope other people who are listening to this just realize this is a fun game. It is fun that we're doing all these things, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes. Both you and I, but that's us doing it. We don't need to shout ourselves out, but all the other people who have helped us,
who don't need to be, but are doing it. So
exactly.
definitely. Good stuff. All right, Mere Mortals, one out.
Kyrin out.